When someone hears the word ceratopsian, what usually comes to mind is a horned giant like Triceratops. However, it was mostly just one clade of ceratopsians, Ceratopsidae, along with a few transitional species that were large. Most of the other hornless ceratopsians were actually rather small. This video is about an exception to that rule, Udanoceratops. Udanoceratops was about 4 meters long, despite not being closely related to the horned ceratopsids. Named in 1992, it was first found in the Mongolian Dijokta Formation, which was formed between 75 to 71 million years ago. This is the same formation where such famous species as Protoceratops, Velociraptor, and Oviraptor were found, which makes Udanoceratops's obscurity a bit perplexing. Fossils similar to Udanoceratops have also been found in the Mongolia Formation, which was formed roughly 71 to 72 million years ago. As mentioned earlier, Udanoceratops is estimated to have been about 4 meters long. While this is smaller than most of the horned ceratopsids, Udanoceratops absolutely dwarf the other hornless ceratopsians. It appears to have been the size of a cow, while most of the others were no larger than a sheep. Udanoceratops was also one of the larger herbivores in the Dijokta Formation. It was only smaller than the Ankylosaurus penocosaurus, and Minotaurosaurus, and the hadrosauroid Plesiohadros. Not only did Udanoceratops lack the horns of its more famous relatives, but its head frill was also much smaller. The skull was massive, with a robust lower jaw that was deeper than other ceratopsians, with a distinctly curved shape. This would have provided attachment points for large jaw muscles, giving Udanoceratops's beak a powerful bite, allowing it to consume tougher vegetation than most other herbivores. Its strong bite would have not just helped it to eat its food, but also prevent it from becoming food. A spectacular fossil, named the Fighting Dinosaurs, preserves a Protoceratops, Udanoceratops's distant relative and contemporary, that died fighting a Velociraptor. As they died together, the Protoceratops was biting its foe's arm, showing that ceratopsians also use their beaks as weapons. With its larger size and proportionally larger jaws, Udanoceratops's bite would have been devastating. Even a pack of Velociraptor-sized predators would have found it to be quite the challenge. But that doesn't mean Udanoceratops was safe from predation. Fossils of a theropod similar to the medium-sized Tyrannosauroid Electrosaurus have also been found in the Dijokta Formation. This predator would have been the perfect size to threaten Udanoceratops. But while Udanoceratops would have had a chance against an Electrosaurus-like predator, it had much worse to fear. Fossils of what seems to be Zooxantheronus, one of the largest tyrannosaurids after Tyrannosaurus rex itself, have also been found in the Dijokta Formation. Against such a massive predator, Udanoceratops's only hope would have been to outrun it. Given Udanoceratops's large nasal openings, it likely had a good sense of smell, which would have helped it to avoid predators. This also would have helped it to find the sparse vegetation in its desert home. It seems that other species were not the only source of conflict for Udanoceratops. Healed injuries in an Udanoceratops skull seem to indicate they fought amongst each other as well, most likely over mates or territory. To leave damage on the bones shows these battles were fierce. The evolution of horns and larger frills and its relatives was likely driven by pressure to reduce such violent conflict, replacing it with less risky displays that relied more on intimidation. Despite its large size, Udanoceratops was not part of the transition from the small hornless species to the larger horned ceratopsids. Instead, it belonged to the clade Leptoceratopsidae, who were more distant relations of the ceratopsids than small species like Protoceratops were. Indeed, besides Udanoceratops, other Leptoceratopsids were small themselves. The majority of Leptoceratopsids were from Late Cretaceous North America. Udanoceratops was the first Leptoceratopsid found outside of North America, though some other Leptoceratopsids have since been found in Asia and even Europe. It is thought that some Leptoceratopsids were still capable of limited bipedal locomotion, an echo of their fully bipedal ancestors. Udanoceratops may have lost this ability due to its greater size and larger skull. However, the development of quadrupedalism in ceratopsians is thought to be the result of needing to balance their large head frills. Since Udanoceratops had a much smaller frill, perhaps it still retained some form of bipedalism. While Udanoceratops may have lacked some of the showier features of some of its relatives, it was certainly impressive in its own right. It also showcases the diversity that existed even within the more obscure dinosaur clades. Hopefully, the next documentary about Late Cretaceous Mongolia will remember this unique ceratopsian. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Have a great day, and if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button.